Gnishak Verminlord, the Rat King as we know him, is in the game, and he comes with 4 epic champions that are going to be part of this fusion. This is not a video to hype him up and sing more of his praises. No, this is a chance to focus on the other 4 epics, because not every player in Raid Shadow Legends will be able to go for this champion depending on where you are and resources you saved, or even if you just don't like him. So you might want to opt for one of the epics or even the rare. So in this video I wanted to take a look at the epics to find out if they're even worth keeping, at least even 1 out of 4 of them. So I'll be rating them and finding out which of them is the best out of the 4. They are new champions in Raid, so we'll always try to acquaint ourselves with their skills and their abilities, so when we do pull them, we know whether it's something we throw in the vault immediately or use for some content somewhere. So that's what this one is going to be about. The 4 epics that are coming along with Gnishak. We'll take a look at their skills. This is a first impression video. I don't know them. I've not seen any video about them. I purposely decided not to check out what everybody's saying about them, so I can give my candid opinion about these 4 epics that are coming into the game. This will be useful for new players, especially the new to pro. We are going for the fusion on that account, but if you're not going for the fusion, check out these 4 epics and I'll let you know which one to keep for yourself and where they can all help you. So the first one that is being released as part of this Gnishak fusion is Aishma. Aishma is from the Night Rev faction. If I head back to the game, we can find her in the Night Rev faction right there, and she can be found at the top. Yes. So first off, Night Revenant has a lot of good champions. Her design is awesome. She does look like an undead though, I'll give you that, because of the mummy wraps. It's like an undead design. This is not a Night Rev design, I'll say that, but they'll have their faces covered for some reason, especially the Night Rev. All right, on her A1, she attacks 2 times. Each hit has a 20% chance of placing 5% poison, so that's 2 poison on a 30% chance if you book it. That's a useful A1. It's not a good chance to land, I know, but when you add extra masteries, it makes a 35% chance to land poison, 2 poisons. It's a good skill, and it's not even the smaller version of poison, it's the big version of poison. It's an epic, so they cannot give her a small version of poison. So let's see. That's an idea that, okay, the clan boss, that's where we use poison the most, clan boss. So we're thinking, okay, clan boss, judging from the A1, let's see if the A2 and the other skills can make her even more viable in the clan boss. And yes, that's a weaken, one of the essential debuffs you want to bring to the clan boss. That's awesome. 100% chance to place a weaken. It's an AoE weaken. This is also good for dungeon content, especially when you already have somebody else placing decreased defense, like a War Maiden, like a Terrell. She comes in there and adds the weaken, especially for players who do not have Lydia yet, or champions that place decrease and weaken at the same time. So she comes in there and does an AoE weaken on all the enemies. Weaken and decreased defense is the best way to do damage to enemies. When you have decreased defense, you think you're hitting them hard. Wait until you have weaken on them also and see how much damage you can do. So that's a useful skill. It's an epic, so they did not give her anything else along with this skill. It should have been a weaken and a decreased attack, or a weaken and something else. But because of how weaken is important on an AoE basis, that's why they're like, that's it, that's all you get. I understand where they are coming from. So on the A3, let's see if this makes it even a better clan boss champion. Attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. If I'm thinking of the clan boss, he places increased attack on himself, so maybe she can just go in there and decrease the duration of that increased attack that he places on himself by 1 turn, which will make it disappear. Also has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. Yes, clan boss. Yes, clan boss. On a 3-turn cooldown, this has a 100% chance of landing. This champion will be awesome for the clan boss, even if her A1 is the only thing that does poisons, right? She has made it known to you that her weaken and her increased duration of debuffs on the clan boss is what you should bring her into the clan boss for. Damn. On a 3-turn cooldown, 100% chance of landing. So yes, this champion is totally worth building for the clan boss. I know her damage is based on attack, but probably for a killable team, you want to go high defense as usual. So if you do pull this champion, currently I'm already impressed by her. Let's see if the 4 other champions will be better than her, so I can rate her. Right now she's looking like a 9 or an 8 out of 10 on my books. That's what I'll say for clan boss, at least. For general content and maybe just the weekend, I don't know if that would be enough to bring her into your dungeon, except you don't have a lot of champions, then she'll come into your dungeon. But I'm thinking there are other people. You want to survive in the dungeons because they will hit you hard. You need revivers and healers. She has none of that. But in lifesteal, she can take care of herself, I guess. Depending on how squishy she is, 14k HP right there. Speed 98, not that bad. Passive, will it make it even more juicier? Heals this champion by 3% of their max HP whenever an enemy receives damage from poison. I did just say she doesn't have a heal, but check out, she has a passive heal coming in right there. 3% of her max HP is huge. It's huge, depending on how many poisons you land and if each poison will do 3%. That's a big heal for her. Alright, you might want to pair this champion with somebody else that does poison. It doesn't say it's only her poison that can heal her though. Heals this champion that 3% of the max HP whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff. It doesn't say placed by this champion. Hey. So Frozen Banshee paired with this champion, they are both magic affinity. They can come in there and lay waste to the clan boss by landing so much poison on him. And yeah, it's an awesome one. It doesn't also say maybe in a toxic set can even land more poisons and then they're all tick. Doesn't say the type of poison, whether it's 5% or less, it will still heal her by 3%, I guess. That's an awesome champion. Straight up, I'm impressed. So the next champion on the list that is being released along with these ones is Endalia. Andelia is from the High Elves faction. Let's head over to the game and check out her skills. Hopefully she impresses us as much as Aishma is impressing me right now. From the High Elves faction, Endalia, an epic champion that is added to the game. Character design wise, she's looking like a normal High Elves faction. Nothing impressive right there. Almost like a Lysandra, but her hairstyle is different. The big coat. Check out. Alright, from the A1 right there, this champion is based on HP, so we're hoping she can be built tanky. A lot of champions from the High Elves are based on HP, or you want to build them with HP. Hoping she's a healer, that's what I'm hoping for. But I can already see she attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing provoke, booked up to a 50% chance of placing provoke on that A1. Plus mastery is maybe 55% chance. Useful A1, not a totally useless one. Can come in clutch sometimes when you want to just target one enemy and just possibly take them, stop them from using their skill. That the A1 is based on HP. A2 is also based on HP, which is good. You don't want to see HP and attack. It's good. But this is an AoE skill right there. When booked, it will be a 3-turn cooldown of doing what? Decrease attack. 100% chance of placing decrease attack. AoE decrease attack as the only thing you bring to battle. I don't like it. I tell you, I don't like it. I like champions who do AoE decrease attack and something else. So she is doing AoE decrease attack and doing nothing else. Nothing else is coming along with this skill. I don't like it. Maybe she's based on HP, so maybe that ability will hit hard. I don't know. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not impressed by the A1. I'm even more impressed by the A2 than I am. I'm more impressed by the A1 than I am with the A2. Decrease attack on the A1. We have Terrell. We have what's his name? Decrease attack champions and decrease defense champions. There is a lot of them epic champions, and they are not hard to obtain in raid. That's why I'm saying when you have, I can't forget his name. Why do I keep forgetting his name? Let me just head over to and show you what I'm thinking about right now. It's from the Verminlord, right? My main best decrease attack champion in Racial Legends that I use everywhere. Stag Knight. That's the one I'm trying to think of. I always go for Terrell when I'm thinking of Stag Knight because they perform similar roles, I guess. But Stag Knight does it better. So this is the champion you need for that role. Somebody who does decrease attack and decrease defense. Not one champion for decrease attack, another champion for decrease defense. You don't have that many positions open on your team. So when you have a champion like Stag Knight in your team, you will not need this new champion. But if you're new to raid and she is all you have for decrease attack, it's still not enough reason to bring her into your team. Let's see if one of our other skills that we are talking about will make her worthy of being used in the teams. So let's head back into her abilities and check out her A3 this time. Oh, no A3, it's a passive. This passive counter attacks when attacked by enemies under decrease attack. And there is no cooldown on it when you fully book it. Okay. This brings her from a 5 up to maybe a 6 or a 7. Yes, I'll tell you, because they are trying to make sure that your A1 provokes them again and again and again and again. Because whenever they hit you, will they have to hit her or hit her allies? Counterattacks when attacked by enemies, so she has to be hit for this counterattack to work. If they hit your allies, she will not counterattack. But when she has the provoke on them, they will always hit her, and she counterattacks with the A1 again to provoke them again. So this looks like a control champion, and they don't want her relying on somebody else for the decrease attack. That's why they made her have her own decrease attack. So I'll raise her rating up to a 7 in my books. It's still not a good reason to use her, but if you don't have any stun, you don't have any sleep champions, you don't have any provoke champions, AoE provoke. This is your only way of controlling the waves. Like on the Noob to Pro, we don't have any way of controlling the waves. This could be a way. She'll probably go down, but if she's tanky with high HP and high defense, she will not go down that easy. But it's hard to build that high amount of stats when you're also focusing on accuracy to land that provoke and the decrease attack. Alright, so that's her rating right there. Andelia, welcome to raid. She's looking not that great, but niche, very niche when you don't have any person to control. She does have an aura of 40 in accuracy, see? So she brings her own accuracy to the battle also. The next champion that I want to take a look at is gonna be Morag Bronzelock. This champion is what everybody is raving about because she's a dwarf #1 and she's awesomely built. Right? When I say awesomely built, I mean she's not just like an ordinary dwarf. She comes in with a scary, spooky Halloween look to her. Even from the avatar, you can tell this is not somebody you want to stare deep into her eyes. Check out. So she's one of the best design champion out of the 4 that was released this time around. And Morag is what we're gonna call her, not Bronzelock, because everything is made of bronze. She reminds me of every other dwarf out there, Molly, Tankard, and all that, but she looks a little bit scary. You don't want to mess with this champion. Big sword as always, bigger than they are. Alright, what does she do? Hopefully something nice. On the A1 hits will ignore shield. Alright, the worst A1 out of the 3 we've seen so far. But if this hits hard, extremely hard, this is not what we want. We don't open up a battle with A1. We open up a battle with our A2 and A3. So the first turn is usually when the enemies have a shield on them. So when you have an A1 that ignores shield, does it mean that this champion will all be single target that will make her want to even open the battle with her A1? Once you hit the enemies with your AoE on the turn 1 or turn 2, the shield is probably gone. By the time you come around to your turn 3 to use your A1, they don't have shield. That's my thought for ranking this A1 the worst out of the 2 we've seen so far for these other champions. Based on defense though, so this is awesome. Attacks all enemies, places a 25% strengthening buff on all allies for 2 turns. Strengthening is a good thing. AoE damage for the enemies based on defense is a good thing. On the 3-turn cooldown is a good thing. I'll not rank it yet until I see the A3. Strengthening is very rare to see on champions, so I guess they need more champions that have strengthening. So usually champion I've seen that brings strengthening to your allies do something else to your allies. Maybe increase defense, maybe, you know, something. This one just comes with only strengthening, so it's kind of weird, but I'll not rate it bad yet until I see her A3 teams up with 2 random allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining attack will always use their default skills. Grants an extra turn if any enemy is killed. On a 4-turn cooldown when booked. When we think of ally attack champions in Raid Shadow Legends, we want the one that will go in with everybody 3 or even the entire 4-man team. We don't usually go with a champion like this that will team up with only 2 champions. When you have ally attack champions like Farrakhan the Fat, that will even increase your buffs. I mean, put crit rate and crit damage on your allies before joining the attack. You like want to go with those ones than her. So I'm thinking for ally attack, this is not it. This is not it. It will be a good reason to use her, yes. The ability that she will even take extra turn after if somebody goes down. It's tempting, yes, but still not tempting enough, because we know that even when you don't need extra turn, when you join ally attack, Death should be dead. So that's not a condition to make her viable for a good ally attack champion. But if she's all you have, your first ally attack champion in raid, you don't have any of these options I'm talking about, Farrakhan the Fat and then all these other champions that also do ally attack, she'll do that for you. But I'm saying in terms of ally attack champions, she ranks pretty low when you always join in the hit with two champions. So I'm not impressed by this champion Morag. Her design was cool. Her A1 was meh. Her A2 was looking like she's gonna be tanky and hitting hard based on defense. Now A3 just came and ruined everything, which will make me put this champion in the vault once I get her. I'm rating this champion a 4 or a 5. A 4 or a 5, around that range. Out of 10, I'm rating her a 4 like that. So for a passive, will it make it even better? Counter attacks when hit while under strengthened buff placed by this champion. So it's just her strengthen. Allies will get hit, she doesn't counter attack when that happens. So it's only she that gets hit and then also counter attacks with the A1. So no, I can't think of anywhere to use this champion. I know that ally attack is something we usually use in the clan boss. She's based on defense. She will survive that. Strengthening is something that can keep you alive also in the clan boss. And I can't think of it being good in the dungeons. She's not a dungeon champion. She just looks very, very like arena, maybe. But we have better nukas in the arena. You don't need strengthening. You don't need... No. She's gonna chill out until we find out somewhere to use her. Of course, if I'm getting it wrong on any of these skills, always correct me in the comments below. Now, finally, the last champion, not the main. He's called Trombo, and he's from the Ox faction. Let's head over to the Ox and find out if this champion will be better than the 3 we've already looked at. If I head over to the Ox, where is he? Trombo. Woo! Now I did see a video about this champion talking about his design, and yes, I did say that dwarf looked awesome, but he looks even better than her. Almost looked like a legendary, but it's just an epic champion. Trombo with a big shield and 4 heads on top of his heads. No, 3 heads on his head. That's an awesomely built champion. Double shield even at his back. I like this. Chains everywhere. Chains. What is this guy with chains? I hope he does something with chains in his fight. All right, I can actually see a weaken and a leech. It will be an A1 that hits 2 times. The first hit has a 30% chance of placing the weaken, 30% chance booked up to a 40% chance. We will take it. It's useful. The second hit, 30% chance booked to 40 of placing the leech. We will take it. It's useful. Is it the best A1 out of the 3? Better than provoke? Depends on where you want to use them. Of course, provoke will be better for waves. Why this one will be better against bosses when you place that leech and a weaken on them. So we can't really compare those two. On this A2, it has attacks enemy, removes 1 random debuff from all allies. We like that. That's a cleanse, right? Damage increases by 5% for each debuff removed. 3-turn cooldown. Damage increases by 5%. So if it's based on defense and your increases damage by 5% for each debuff removed, that's an additional damage. So usually when you go into this battle, you want a champion like this AoE damage to do his stuff. Any addition that is coming up in terms of the 20% extra damage you get is a bonus. So you don't rely on removing debuffs to hit harder. You just go in thinking you want to hit harder. So I'm not impressed by that 5% part, but if you have a bunch of debuffs on you already and he goes in there, he will only cleanse 1. So even if you have 3 debuffs on you, he will only cleanse 1. That means this is a 5-5-5-5, especially depending on how many people will have the debuffs on them. He'll be able to do 20% extra damage. Let's just say 20%. Why are you trying to deceive us and think it's going to be like 50% extra damage if he removes. No, he's removing 1 debuffs. It's still a useful skill. Depends on how hard it's going to be hitting based on defense. So extra 20% added to it. I'm not impressed by that yet though. Places and ally protection. Yes, we like to see defensive based champion with ally protection on all allies except this champion. Places 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns. I was thinking the increased defense is going to be on all allies. That would be the awesome increased defense and ally protection champion, but nope. Ally protection on a 4-turn cooldown is not what we want in raid. We already have champions who do ally protection on a 3-turn cooldown. That's what we use everywhere. We're already doing 4-3 ratio for block debuff buffs. We don't want to start doing 4-3 ratio for ally protection champions. Nope. This is gonna be one of the worst ally protection champions you want to use for clan boss. Yes, I don't want to start going and start showing you all the other ally protection champions we already use, who have it on a 3-turn cooldown, who we use in clan boss. You know all them, but his ally protection is on a 4-turn cooldown. Even if it's gonna be for 3-turn, you need him to be 240 something to be viable in Nightmare as an ally protection champion. That's a lot of speed to put on one champion who you're hoping the defense to be as high as 4,000, 5,000 because he's an ally protection champion. So, nope. Trombo, despite how awesome built you are not going to be making it to any of my clan boss teams anytime soon. Even if I pull you, you're going straight to the vault. I know that ally protection is a useful thing, and if he's the first ally protection champion you have, the only one, use him. Remember, this is only, I'm coming from a place where if you have options, you go for the better options. But the problem with taking this champion to 60 and using him as your default ally protection champion is because that might be short-lived. But guess what? After he retires from being your ally protection, then you replace him with Toragi the Frog or somebody better than him. If it's called Crusher, he might still be viable for your faction wars. Remember, these champions, when you use them, you no longer use them for one content. They can be relegated to the faction wars, and that might be working right there for you. So, on the passive, whenever this champion is attacked, has a 20% chance of decreasing the duration of all debuffs on this champion by 1 turn. That's not a useful champion. That's not a useful passive at all. Not a useful one. I thought it's gonna decrease the duration of his skills, not decrease the duration of debuffs. What if he doesn't have debuffs? Decrease the duration of debuffs makes no sense. All right, that's this champion Trombo. He's meh to me. I'll rate him a 5. Ally protection, because of ally protection, I'll give him a 6 maybe. Because that's still a useful debuff, even if, a useful buff, even if he's on a 4-turn cooldown. It only applies if you have options, or if you're thinking of you have options in the future, then you might say hold on. Alright, that's me rating these 4 epic champions that was released as part of this Rat King fusion. There's one more, the rare champion, and we're not going to waste our time with this one because it's a rare. Rares are food. The last time we got a good rare from Racial Legends, I cannot remember. I'm talking about Cold Heart status, I'm talking about War Maiden status, I'm talking about Reliquary Tender status. These days we just got mere rares and they are not even worth looking at. So, but I can see a stun on the A1, 20% chance. Shit, that's rubbish. Counter attack on a target. I'm done. I'm done reading. I thought it's gonna be AoE counter attack for every 1 turn, but nah. So that's my review of the 4 champions that was released as part of this Rat King fusion. You guys head into the game. The best one that I'll say for you to get if you are not going for the Rat King fusion is probably going to be the first champion we took a look at. And that was from where? Nightmare faction, right? The first champion we took a look at was Aishma. She impressed me so much with this A1 on the poison. She impressed me so much with this weaken that is useful for the clan boss. Even if it's on a 3-turn cooldown, it's going to be lasting for 2 turns, which you're going to have weaken out there. That's important if you don't want to use this weaken for dungeons. Then she also impressed me with this ability that will work for the clan boss also. And yeah, that's my verdict. Aishma is the best out of all of them. So if you're going to be keeping anyone, Aishma is the one to go for, especially if you're building up for the clan boss. If your clan boss is already taken care of, right? This champion is also good for the dungeon. Remember, Poison also works for the dragon. Poison works for many bosses in the dungeons, including the ice golem, which is where she can be used, I guess. And yeah, she brings something to the waves. She's not just going into the waves and waiting, folding her hands like Frozen Banshee. Just folds her hand in the waves until she gets to the boss and start popping off. This champion will be good for the waves also with that weaken. AoE weaken is good to land with your decreased defense champion out there. If you don't have somebody like Tyrell, or I keep saying Tyrell again, Stagnite, decrease attack and decrease defense. All right, the second, of course, will be the other champion we took a look at. So she is the first rated one, Aishma. Then I don't want to give it to this champion as the second, but I guess I just have to. People are saying she'll be good for the Hydra. Usually I don't try to see these champions being good for the Hydra because we are thinking newer players coming into the raid are not supposed to be building champions for the Hydra. That's not content you're supposed to be focused on. So that's why I did not consider that as anything when I'm talking about this champion. I only considered them whether they will be good for dungeons, clan boss, arena. But so far, the only arena champion we are looking at out there is the dwarf, because she seems like she's going to be doing the ally join attack. 2 though. All right, you guys, let me know which one is the best one out of these 4 that you are going to be going for. I'm recommending Aishma if you're not pushing for the main legendary fusion. Gather the 4 rares and get this champion and hold on to for poisons and clan boss build and all that. So if you're focused on the arena, of course she comes in there and does some heavy hits and does that team ally join attack. As for this one, nah, he's going straight to the vault if I do pull him. But that weaken and leech did impress me though. His other skills just let me down. I like protection though. Anyways, you guys hit the like button in this video for me so that my videos can get out more to more people in the raid community, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for if this is the first time you're seeing this face, or if the button is red above and below, please hit that subscribe button. So let's head to the next milestone, which is 5,000 subscribers in the new year. I'll be heading towards the fusion head on the Noob to Pro and giving you daily updates on my progression right there so far. So later guys.